singing majesty.
Hello members, today our focus is going to be in biology, and our main area of concern is going to be nitrogen cycle. The nitrogen cycle, this is one of the routes which always see how nutrients are recycled in the environment. Remember, we have other routes our nutrients can be recycled, like the carbon cycle and many others. But my area of concern today, I'm going to look at what called the nitrogen cycle. Follow me up and you enjoy the lesson. Simple as it is going to be. Nitrites. So we have here the nitrites. Nitrites. Take note of the spelling. Now chemists, for them, they always represent it like that, nitrites. Now we are seeing that we have ammonium salts. The ammonium salts are being converted into the nitrites. Then the nitrites are again converted into what we are calling the nitrates. To what we call the nitrates. So we have what we call the nitrates. Still, chemists will always represent it like that. Now we are going to look at how the ammonium salts are being converted to nitrites, and how the nitrites are being converted into the nitrates. Remember now, the nitrates are soluble. And once they are soluble, they can be absorbed by what we call the what? The plants. So here we shall have an arrangement like that to move this one to what we call our plants now. So we have our plants taking in the nitrates. Remember, nitrates can be used for making like the amino acids, DNA, and so on. So we have our plants here. Then the plants also, they are storing the food which is needed by the animals. So we shall see that the animals here are going now to base on the plants for food. The plants, remember, they took the nitrates. Then the nitrates are in the plants. Now the animals are also getting a copy of the nitrates which we have picked by the plants. Now, the question is going to be, where does the ammonium salts which we have studied they are originating from where? Now the answer is going to be simple, that once we have the dead plants and dead animals, these ones now they are going to be broken down as you are seeing there by what we call the decomposers. So we have what we call the decomposers at this level. The decomposers are breaking down our dead plants and dead animals to give us what we call. Now members, after decomposition being done by the decomposers, we always see that there is a process which we are calling ammonification. When you look at that flow diagram, I have not represented the ammonification, but we know you first decompose the dead organic matter, then the materials after decomposition, then the one which are going to be now converted into what we call the ammonium salts by the process of ammonification. So take note of that, even if it's not illustrated. So that the salts. Remember, you can represent this diagram in any way you want. Mine, I'm representing like this, but for you can change the format and face any direction you want. What matters is to show the arrows properly. Now, from here, we can see that the process of converting the ammonium salts to nitrites, this process, we are going to call it nitrification. This one, members, is what we are calling nitrification. Nitrification. So, depending on our space here, we can see that I'm using small letters, but the issue remains nitrification. Similarly, to convert the nitrites into the nitrates, there also we have the same process which we are calling nitrification. That is still nitrification. And we are going to say that the conversion of the ammonium salts to nitrites and nitrites to nitrates, this one is done by bacteria. And these bacteria, we are calling them the nitrifying bacteria. Here we are going to be with what we call the nitrifying bacteria. Nitrifying bacteria. And the bacteria here, which is nitrifying, we are saying that this is nitrosomonas. We have nitrosomonas. Then at this point of converting the nitrates to nitrates, this one we have what we call the nitrobacter. We have the nitrobacter. Take note of the spelling. That is nitrobacter. Now we are seeing that our ammonium salts have been converted to nitrates, and then the nitrites to nitrates, which are called nitrification. Now we are seeing that some nitrates can be converted into ammonium salts. Now our space here is limited, but allow me to follow this direction. Now I am having my nitrates, and my nitrates now are being converted to what? To ammonium salts. So I'm driving it backwards. Try to follow my hand like that. So this one, I have a limited space, so I'm driving it like that back to ammonium salts. Now this process of changing the nitrates back to ammonium salts, this one we are going to call it what we call the denitrification. That is denitrification. And this one is done by bacteria, which we are calling the denitrifying bacteria. Denitrifying bacteria. Don't confuse them with the nitrifying. Denitrifying bacteria, for example, the best one we can look at what we are calling the Clostridium bacteria. Clostridium bacteria, that one is doing some work of denitrifying. Now, at the same time, we see that nitrogen can be fixed directly into the soil. Remember, as I've already told you, that this free nitrogen can be converted into nitrates. These nitrates in the soil, and this one can be done by some processes. Like one of them is what we are calling lightning. When you look at this arrow is showing our lightning here. Lightning, this explains why places with a lot of forests, canopy forests, their soils are fertile, because most of the free nitrogen is converted into nitrates. And that process now we are going to call it nitrogen fixation. This one, however, can also be done by bacteria. And these bacteria, we call them the nitrogen fixing bacteria. One of them, which is living mutualistically with the legumes, this one we are calling it rhizobium. However, we have that one which is not living mutualistically with the legumes, which we are calling the azotobacter. So these two, they are doing the work of converting the free nitrogen, fixing directly into the nitrates which the plants need. Now, members, after grasping that, we can also go and we look at our summary. We can make an overview of the life cycle. So follow me up as we are wrapping up the oral nitrogen cycle. Converted to nitrates, that is nitrification. Sealed nitrates are converted to nitrates, that is sealed nitrification. This one is being done by nitrifying bacteria, even here nitrifying bacteria. So here we are seeing that there is some sort of denitrification. Don't forget this word here. The other arrow is passing over our subtopic. Then that is denitrification done by denitrifying bacteria. Then we have this one. This one we call nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation done by nitrogen fixing bacteria and some part of lightning. Don't forget that. Then we are seeing that those bacteria, we have azotobacter and rhizobium. Here we have nitrobacter and then nitrosomonas. Then here we have decomposers Decomposers, don't forget that those are decomposers, or the saprobiotes. Then here feeding. Now feeding, we are seeing that the animals, like a man, feeding on the plants. That one, now we are getting the nitrates from the plants, the animals. Now forming ammonium salts, that is from plants and animals which are dead. That one we are calling it decomposition. Other books can even say that that is decaying. So you can give the process different words, but what matters is breaking down the dead organic matter, and that is saprobiotism or saprobiotic. Now in simple terms, the processes which are major, which we can bring here, we have one, nitrification. Don't forget that, nitrification. Then we have what we call denitrification. We have what we call absorption. We have what we call feeding. We have what we call the decomposition. And remember, we have said even the nitrates can go deeper layers of the soil where plant roots cannot reach, and that one we are calling the reaching now. So that is what we can talk about the nitrogen cycle.